Hello. Hi, everyone. Countdown was frozen there. I was trying to work out the pronunciation of the expansion, but I couldn't. In the few seconds I gave myself when I realised, hey, maybe we should do that. It was just telling me how to pronounce it in English, and I know that. It's the Visitors expansion for Nusfjord, which is part of the two new decks that are out for the game, or are included if you've got the big box version, which I've got here. I already had the old game. So the old game came out and had two separate expansion decks for it. I missed one of them, the salmon one, I think, and it went out of print. Was silly money, but now it's all available again. So if you've just got old Nusfjord, you can buy a box that's got the first two expansions in it and a box that's got these two new expansions in it for almost the exact same price. You can buy the big box that's got both double packs of expansions in it, and it's got some extra bits as well. It's got wooden coins in it now. Where are they? They're alright. It's got the cardboard ones as well still. It's got some alright wooden coins. And the wooden pieces are nice as well. Like I'd seen a little thing about the component quality might not be as good, but it seems pretty great. It seems better. Like the pieces are like a solid color now. Before they were kind of streaky. You could see like the wood grain underneath. So I suppose it just depends on what you prefer, really. And the wood pieces are bigger. People saying that all of the new pieces are smaller. The wood pieces are bigger. Like you could see like the wood grain through the player pieces and stuff, and you kind of tiny bit, but it's got like solid colors now. Oh yeah, and it's got promo cards in it as well. And the promo cards I'd never used because you had to like cut them out of a bigger card before, which I was worried about, and I never did. So maybe we'll get around to them at some point. There's a load of promo people in it now. There's two brand new expansions and things. So yeah, I'm just gonna go for big box, and we'll keep that. But I think I'm gonna keep my coins. They were in the whatever the first expansion deck was. Was that Place? They came with the Place expansion. I like them. I'm keeping hold of them. Hi everyone, by the way. I'm just going on about the game, aren't I? Thanks for joining me. Hey James, Mike, Matt, Mikhail, you just about to pack it in your backpack? Perfect timing. Hopefully you do better than I'm gonna do. It's been snowing here as well. It's pretty freezing, but I quite like it. I quite like winter. Hey Lynette, I think that is everybody helloed. Sorry if I've missed you. So yeah, we are going to be playing the solo game using one of the new expansion decks. So this adds as its kind of big claim to fame. It's got guests as a commodity in here. You can get guests in various ways, but the main way, well, it'll be from effects of things. But if you see this icon with a guest and a plus on it, it will give you a guest into your personal supply, and you can spend them for various things later. There is a little reminder of what they do. So when you go to build a building or a ship, you can get rid of them to get a discount of 3 fish or 2 wood each. When you serve fish, so normally you have to pay the amount of fish to put one on the plate, and they will be used for elders later. When you're doing the serve fish action, you can return guests to fill a plate. No matter how many fish it needed, you can just discard one guest, so it can get you a discount of up to 5 fish, and you still get the gold. When you fill up these plates, you get a gold normally for spending the fish. Spending a guest gets you a gold in the same way as well. At any time, you can put a guest on a ship that you've got down here. And guests on ships are worth a point. They're only worth half a point in your supply at the end of the game. And they will get you an extra fish when you go fishing at the start of every round. And I think that's it. I've told you all of the bits. There you go. That's guests for you. But as well as adding that mechanic, there is a whole new deck of building cards to use. So we have the A's, the B's, the C's we won't see until later, and they'll be the big scoring cards. We have these elders that are the same every game, with the caveat of you can mix these promos in and decide when to use them. Just using the standard ones for now. So it's just the ones that you can see, and then there is one underneath the builder that will become available if we build the builder. So yeah, we've got a new lineup of the buildings in the solo game. This is all we're going to see. I think in higher player count games, they will get refreshed as you go along. And yeah, that's it then. Hopefully I've said all of the bits. Oh, did the Salmon expansion come with metal coins as well? I think that's the one I missed. Maybe did that come with 5s and stuff, or is it just more 1s as well? I think I've got enough, especially like for solo and stuff. I've got enough just with these 1s, I think. I'm never that rich in Nusfjord as I remember. Marty is enjoying his nice bed downstairs. That's true again for this time of year. Marty's curled up in the chair, or like he's just been fed, so he'll probably be meowing for some fuss. He might come and join us on the table. He did yesterday when I was filming. You'll see him in one of the Spokes videos that will be coming up in the near future. Crocodile Dundee, where is he? That one. Kind of Crocodile Dundee-esque, isn't he? Right, so let's do stuff then. So there are phases to the rounds of the game. There's 7 rounds. We will do fishing, where we'll get some fish. Here's the fishing phase. We will do work. We will place 3 workers, and then we'll return home, get them back, although that's a bit different in the solo game. You've got 2 colours of workers, and workers you place in round 1 will stay there until the end of round 2. So you will alternate in a Feast for Odin style, blocking off the spaces so you can't use them 2 rounds running, but you do have this, usually only for a 4-player game, this copy any action space. And I've got ideas on that, I've got designs on that. So for the fishing phase, you get this many fish. I'm in the way. You'll never see this number. You get 3 fish, is the smallest number. I can't get myself out of the way. What if we zoom in? This angle's not going to be on me, is it? That's in the way as well. 3 fish. You get 3 fish from the supply, but you don't get them into your personal supply. First of all, any elders you've got need to be fed fish. I haven't got any elders yet. Any of my shares that are in foreign possession, so either other players would have them in a multiplayer game, or I might have issued them and they're on the board ready to be bought. I haven't got any shares in foreign possession. Then your shares in your personal supply. So I have 2 shares to start the game with, and then go to your reserve. You can have up to 8 in your reserve. Everything else, you lose. There's an action on the board to get all of your stuff out of your reserve. Generally, it's fish. It can be other stuff as well from buildings. And that's the fishing phase. And then we're going to have to go on to the work phase and have a think about what we're doing. So we don't know the sea buildings yet. We don't know what's going to score big points. A couple of the actions out here are build a building. And the copy action towers on the other side for solo. I think that's advanced solo mode, where it's on the other side. I think. Yeah, in the standard solo, it's the 4-player side up. You can play the solo game in an advanced way, where you actually alternate between 3 different colours of workers that will only get returned bit by bit. And if you play that way, you play with the copy action tile this way around. Normally it would go like at the bottom of the columns. I'm doing it to save space. So copy an action would refer to an action that's in one of the relevant columns. But I'm just doing standard solo for this one. He might be joining us. He's meowing for attention. He's got these little mouse toys. He gets a mouse in his mouth and runs around with it meowing at very badly timed moments. He's had all day to be doing this, although I've been editing them videos. I'd make time for him. Right, so stuff we could build. I've seen these campsites here. They get us nothing but a guest, really, but there's no cost to do them apart from, the action cost. You're limited to your actions. So you've got 21 actions, essentially. They don't do anything, but you can build over them, and if you do, you get wood or fish, which is a nice way of getting some bigger stuff to build bigger things earlier. I thought the feasting hall here, whenever you serve fish, get a guest. Guests could be quite flexible for how we use them. But the sailor elder that we could get lets you serve fish, and as well as getting the normal gold, you would get a wood for every served plate. So we'd get an extra wood for every plate we served, and then a guest after doing the action as well. Could be a nice little combo. Every time you get a new guest, you can remove a forest. We start off with 4 forests. There's 2 in this little stack here. Every time you get a guest, you can remove a forest and get gold. Gold's quite a scarce resource. I like this log boom one here. Immediately put a wood on every available fishing space. And then every time you would cover it, you get the wood back. So if you could get that early, that would be pretty great. We've only got, so the stuff that's on my shares goes into my personal supply now. We've only got 2 fish right now. And it seems a lot to do an action. Transfer your reserve, get that one single fish so we could afford something like that. But it would be nice to have the log boom before we started building stuff out on it. Because, like, I'm thinking I would like those campsites. You would always like some ships so you can earn more fish. But before you've really done anything, those fish are just going into your reserve and you have to use an action to get all of those fish out there. But that's not so bad if you've got 8 fish in there. I'm going to talk myself around in circles the whole game. So, what I was thinking about doing is, I've probably worried about doing this in a previous game as well. A nice way of getting gold is to issue one of your shares. And in the multiplayer game, you've got the jeopardy of, once you have done that, you've got the 2 gold for it, your share goes out onto the board. Anyone else, in the meantime, you've had your action now, anyone else can buy all the shares that are in here for a gold each, and they get a taste of your fish for the rest of the game. But in the solo game, they're out there and you're going to lose fish while they're out on the main board, but you can buy your own shares and then you've got more of your fish going to yourself. So I wonder how viable it would be to hold off on the building of buildings, and you could potentially issue a share, buy all of your shares. You'd still end up 2 gold up. You'd have almost all of your shares. It would be a bit of a waste because you only get 3 fish right now until you get some more stuff to cover up your fishing track. So we would only be getting 3 fish with the potential of like having 4 from the shares. But I was worried about doing all that. Hey Tony, how's it going? Tony is the designer of this particular expansion of Nusfjord, the creator of the guests. I hope I get a decent score now. The pressure's on. So, yeah, it would be a nice little start to do that, because you don't really want to like issue a share and I just buy 1 share. Like it is blocking off my copy action quite early on. I wouldn't be able to do it again until round 3. But I feel like that would be a nice little thing to do. And then when we get to building, these campsites, not necessarily both of them, would be a nice little start. I like the archaeological site as well. Put this underneath a stack of forests and get a gold and a guest when you reveal it. I could put it under a stack of 1 and we could reveal it quite easily by deforesting, by elders and things. I think I'm going to try and start out that way. I don't know if I've done this before, so I'm going to issue a share. I get 2 gold for that into my supply. That could be some points, but we're probably going to spend it on stuff. If you just issued the shares and didn't buy them, you could get an early schooner worth 4 points and would cover up a load of your fishing track. You'd be earning 6. Although a lot of them would go into the reserve. So I need to issue a share into the middle there, and that's going to cost me 1 of my fish while it stays there. But I'm going to try. Yeah, no elders or anything just yet, and we'll definitely build next time we're going to have to get some wood, get some kind of boat, but we'll worry about that next round. I'm going to issue a share again. So let's issue that. And your unissued shares are -1 point at the start. So, like, you are turning them into a positive point if you buy them. Yeah, let's do that. And then I'm going to buy them for a gold each. So I'm only ending up 2 up, but I've got all of these shares now early on. So, that's it for all of my stuff. You would normally take back your workers in the standard game, but in solo, they are there blocking spaces, and you use the blue workers for your alternate rounds. I haven't built a single thing. So we'll go through the fishing again. I've only got my 3 fish to start with. I've got no elders still. I've dropped a fish. We're going to have to retrieve that later when I've forgotten that I've dropped it. No elders, no shares in foreign possession. If I'd left them on the board, 2 of my 3 fish would go on here and basically get discarded, and I would only get 1 onto my shares. But I basically get all of mine onto my shares in my personal supply. Nothing goes into the reserve, and we've got some fish to work with. So that's the fishing phase. Then the action phase. They didn't include your Wicker Man building. Did they decline that? Did they decline the reference? Is the Alderman's office a Atletico Mints reference, or am I reading too much into that? It might just be me that thinks that whenever they say Alderman. Right. So, buildings. The campsite is a nice way of getting a load of stuff. So we can only really afford a sloop in terms of ships. We want some kind of ship out. Although the deep sea trawler over here, I've got 5 fish now. I could get 5 wood from deforesting, and then the deep sea trawler is a building worth 3 points, but it's a ship that goes on your fishing track. So that would cost me all of my stuff, but that would get me up to 6 fish as well. It'd be a nice little thing to have. Don't want to ignore elders as well. So if you're not familiar with elders, you take an elder from here. You can have any one of the 6 in the display. Hey, Marty. He is going to walk straight across the cards. Hi, Marty. There you go. Nowhere near as destructive as it can be. You call him it. As Marty's movements can be. Why don't you sit off to the side there? You want to be right in the middle of it, don't you? I don't think you could cause too much hassle. Hey, Michael. Guest business. Yes, in case you're just joining us, this is the Visitor expansion from the Nusfjord Big Box or the Expansion 2 set. It's a new deck of buildings and all of that, but one of the key new things is guests. So whenever you build a building with this pink person and a plus symbol, you get a guest. There are other effects that can give you guests as well, but you can use them as discounts for building. You can discard them from your supply, get a discount of 3 fish or 2 wood when you're doing some building. When you're serving fish, you can substitute the fish you would normally pay for just 1 guest, even if that's getting you a discount of 5 fish, and you still get the gold. Or you can pop them on your ships, and they get you an extra fish every fishing phase. And if they are in your supply at the end of the game, they're worth half a point. If they're on your ship tile, they're worth a full point. I think that's all of the guest things. So yeah, Marty's represented in the corner of the screen. He's got his full-on back to me sulking, fuming. So yeah, if we get an elder, we can pick one of these. They go into our elder spots. You can immediately activate them for free. So you have to take a fish from the dining table. It goes onto them. If they fill up with fish, you discard the 3, and then you get 1 of them into your supply. So they can get you some fish. And they give you an extra action, essentially. Sometimes it's just one of the actions that you would do out of here, or they can get you more benefits from the actions, or they can let you upgrade ships into bigger and better things. And then in the future, you can pop your workers on them. As long as there's fish up here to feed them, then you can activate them as worker placement spots up here once per round. So overbuilding would get us a guest as well. Like, it's costing an action to do that overbuild, but it's not only resources, it's a guest too. And you can make your guests worth an additional fish or wood for discounting things. I just don't want to leave it too long. Like, we're wasting fishing potential if I don't build any kind of boats. And I would imagine the deep sea trawler, since it isn't going on a spot, it's not overbuilding things. So it wouldn't be a good combo for things. The log boom would be nice. So I've got a gold. Because I could build the campsite. But what about this? Let's build the campsite. So building it gets me a guest, which I've moved around everywhere. Then I'll build a building, and we will build log boom, overbuilding this, getting me 3 wood. Because that's what the building's effect was. And I need to pay 3 fish and 1 gold for that. Immediately, put a wood. Sorry, Martin. That is where you are going to swish things about too much. I'm sorry I can't give you the attention that you desire right now. Later on, when I'm not streaming, you will not be interested at all. But that's just life, isn't it? So put a wood on all these spaces and take the wood before you cover them up. It'll be lovely to get the deep sea trawler now, but I'm lower on resources. So now I can afford myself a sloop. And I could just build a ship, or I could take the Elder to build the ship. And then, if we... Yeah, I'll do an Elder to do it. I'm going to take the Constructor. So he's going to take 1 of my fish each round, but I think it'll be all right. I can activate him straight away. So I take a fish from the dining table, pop it on him, and I'm going to build a ship. So 2 wood, 2 fish. Builds me a sloop. I get this 1 wood that I would be covering up on my track. That's going to get me more fish when we're fishing. I could get a discount, actually. You can afford a cutter. Oh, no, you can't. You got the wood from that. No. Maybe in the future. So I could pop the guest on the boat straight away. So I built a ship with the Constructor. Now if we come to fill plates up and I'm getting some fish, we could maybe do more plates in one go. If most of the other expansions, any reason to get the big box? There are 2 new expansions now. I don't know if you have those ones. I did read some, I don't know if it's been resolved now, that in the US, the distributors haven't ordered any of the separate expansion boxes. They've only ordered the big box. But yeah, if you've got everything for Nusfjord already, you can buy an expansion box with the 2 new things in it. This and the guests and the other fishy box. The big box. Oh, it gives you some promos. If you haven't got all of the promos, they're in there. There are wooden coins. But generally, it's like if you're already Nusfjorded up sufficiently, you can just get that separate expansion box. Yeah, I could be saving the guests. I could be spending the guests to save on that, or I could pop them on the boat. They'd be worth some stuff later, but they would be earning me more stuff too. I think I'm going to pop them on the boat. There's something else. Oh, the angling school is what I was thinking about. If I can get some good guests on boats, immediately get a gold for everyone on there. Gold is a point each. Gold is... Well, we don't know. It might be required for some of the sea things that come out. I do want the alderman's office as well, just generally. Once per round with a worker, take an elder and use it immediately without fish. That's pretty good. Anyway, that's my 3rd thing for now, isn't it? Do you want, at any time, you can put a guest. So at any time you could put, that says immediately though. I don't know if you could put that guest on a ship. We won't worry about that because I can't afford it yet. Place a guest from the personal supply on a ship tile. I'm going to try earning some more fish. So this guest, I think I'm in the way. This guest's going on the sloop. And yeah, that's all we need to know for now. So returning home, we are getting the red ones back. You get the ones that you're about to use back. Then we move to the next round. The sea buildings will appear next time. Right? Or is it the end of round 4? I think it's in the return home phase, actually. Then we have all of our stuff back. So fishing is going to be 5 fish now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And first of all, one's got to go to the elder. Then no shares in foreign possession. All of the other 4 go on my shares, and that's it. And then for the elder, in the fishing phase, you get 1 fish into your personal supply for every guest. So that just ignores the usual fishing phase stuff, just goes straight onto your supply. So we've got some fish to work with again. And I've got a spare gold. We could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't quite afford a cutter. Can't quite do 3 plates of stuff. Hey, Hatchim, how's it going? Okay, so what's the plan now? We've got a bit of wood to work with. And like even just building a sloop would get me the 2 wood back. Like it's more efficient action-wise getting bigger boats. The cruise ship is nice to hang on to the guests as well. A wood and a fish for every guest in your supply. If you're going to be serving fish a lot, if you think you're going to be serving fish a lot, getting a guest every time you've done the action would be nice. I don't necessarily want to remove all of the forest, and that's quite expensive. It's tempting again, like the campsite and then do a build, but for this round, if you're going to do any building, it's only going to be once with the copy action. Could put out the last share, but we would need to earn more fish for that to be worth it fully. Can easily get some more wood by doing some deforesting. I like the archaeological site, putting it underneath a stack of forests, and then doing some deforesting. I'd get myself a gold and a guest. We would then have... We'd have enough for a cutter if I did that. That's then kind of getting me too many fish. But then we go feeding. And we'll know what the seas are. And that archaeological site is worth 2 points. I like it. Alternative building cost. Discard the toy shop. Haven't come across the toy shop yet. But that's just worth 3 points and gets me a person. Let's go for that idea. Copy an action. I'm going to copy build a building. Or you could use your... This isn't going to involve fish, is it? Oh, that would be 2 actions, though. You'd need to serve fish, then activate the guy, then deforest. You wouldn't be able to build the ship. Okay, so build a building. I'm going to build the archaeological site. Costs just a gold. Put this underneath a stack of forests. Can a stack of forests just be 1? There is like an appendix for all of the cards and things. I need a bigger box, exactly. Actually, we just got the big box. I've just got it myself this weekend. This is my first play of the new thing and the game in general for a few years, I think. Let's deforest. Remove a forest to get 5 wood. I've got to watch out for the wood in the supply too. Oh, but that's my... Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And get a gold and a guest. So I'm quite tempted right now to get a cutter, pop a guest right on it, and then we get another elder next time. Maybe the surf fish elder. I'm going to do it. Cutter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because this is going to reward me with fish as well, with wood as well. 3 wood from all of the stuff that's on my track, and now you can see the fishing number. And is the guest going on there? Yes. So that's my 3 actions done. Returning home. Is it at the end of the 4th round we see the buildings because this is going to be important. It doesn't change for solo, does it? I think it's in the return home phase, right? Just remind me on. It's when you move it onto there, so it'll be in the return phase of 3. Which is now, isn't it? So we finish, we get the blue guys back, and we put 4 C buildings into the display. 1, 2. So we've got, ooh, a big fish cost there, but I seem to have gone big fish. Amphitheatre's worth 7 points, or you can discard 5 guests from your supply. Queuing barriers it costs 8 wood and the number of guests in your supply as gold, but it's worth up to 9 points if you have 5 or more guests in your supply. Immediately put a guest on up to 3 untaken elders. Take the guest when the elder is taken. Gilder, in each round, as a 4th action, you can turn a guest into an available action. And then life insurance, whenever any player spends a guest, whenever any player does it, put a gold onto this, and it's worth 6 points, plus 1 for every gold on it. It's expensive to do. Like 6 gold to do it, but imagine if you could get that out, like, not really early, but like if you had the means to do that in this round for the rest of the game, every player just terrified to spend a guest to do anything. Well, they're just giving you a point, aren't they? But it's not a huge scoring game. What scores like 30 to 50-ish in this? I think 50 would be a pretty amazing score. Right. So fishing. 7 fish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fish. Elder gets a fish. He's full up, so 1 goes to my supply, the rest are discarded. Shares in foreign possession, none. Shares in my supply, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that means 2 more go to the reserve. And then I've got 2 guests on ships, so they go to my supply as well. So there's no limit in my supply for fish. There is a limit in the reserve for fish that I need to watch out on. What have I got now? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 fish. Probably gonna serve some food to make elders more possible. Because I want the sailor to make serve fish get me wood as well, but they can't be activated until there's fish out here. And filling up this is giving me more wood as well. Okay. So we want to serve people. Do you want to try and get a guest first so you could serve more people? You don't necessarily want to... In a way, you're getting gold for every plate that you serve. If you're going to serve a lot, it would be nice to get a discount when you're doing guests. But I want to keep putting them on ships. We could get the small campsite and overbuild it. There's extra actions doing all of that stuff, though. And we can return an elder. And you get its fish in your supply. That's going to be at most 2, but you don't have the responsibility of that elder anymore. And it's worth 3 points, and you get a guest. Let's serve fish. So I've got 12. We'll definitely serve the first 2 plates. So you'll only keep 1 fish on here. But while I'm thinking about what I'll put out here, you could easily, like, if you do a big load of stuff, you could... Oh yeah, I was thinking about the feasting hall once. Thanks, Tony. Because then I'll get me guests that I want to keep putting on the ships. So let's build the feasting hall. Since I can afford to do it. 2 wood and a fish. Then when we serve fish, we will get a guest at the end of it. I think we probably want to do... The amphitheatre seems possible, right? fish-wise at some point before the end. Which means you probably want to issue a share and get that back. But you probably want to do another one. So that's going to be 3 gold as well. You could even build that glider. It's worth -1 point, but the benefits of it. Do I want to go one more? Yeah, I'll still have 2 fish. Yeah, get 4 gold. So just 1 stays on each plate. I remember Nusfjord now. I'll be rubbish at it, but that's me and Nusfjord. Get a guest from the feasting hall. I'm tempted to build that glider, spending this guest as a 2 wood discount, so I could afford it then. Gold is points as well, so it's costing you 3 points essentially. But I'd get a person back. I'd be able to spend them as an additional action. But then what would you do with it? You'd have no wood or anything left. Couldn't build a ship. Can't build a ship anyway because it's not an available action. But actually, I could activate him, but I wouldn't have the resources to do it. Don't necessarily want to just issue the share. Don't need to reforest just yet. Getting the deep sea trawl has got to be a good idea at some point as well. Because I can just build a ship now by using the constructor. It'd have to be a cheap one. Or I could just spend the gold and build a schooner, couldn't I? That might be a bit overkill just for the number of people you've got available. You could upgrade one with the Harbour Master. You get loads of wood for doing it. For like future builds. You'd probably fill up the fishing track. I was thinking of getting an elder once, but if you're going to get an elder, in the tourist office, I don't want to remove all of the forests. I think what's it? Just... yeah, the schooner seems good. The deep sea trawler I'd like, but I spent all my wood. Because the schooner's going to get me loads of wood as well. And I've got a guest. Yeah, let's do this. So the constructor gets a fish off the main board. You know the word. You can go there. Get me 4 wood. This cost me 4 gold. Instead of, 8 wood and 8 fish. And then I might go over my reserve here. But the guest will ensure that I'll get an extra one straight into my supply no matter what. We're doing it. Right. Retrieve. It's going to be red. So we'll get you back. And that's all the return home thing. I keep thinking there's going to be more steps. So we need 10 fish. Oh, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 1 on the elder. Should have got another elder. Shares in foreign possession, no. Shares in my supply. 3, 4. Which means we've got 5 for this. So that's actually max in the reserve. So transfer reserve might be a good idea because everything's going to get wasted in future rounds. Get all them into my supply. And then 3 from the guests goes into my personal supply. So, then it's work time. We're going to see 3 more sea buildings at the end of the round. Gotta go for the amphitheatre, I think. Oh, get these 4 into your supply as well. Not right now, but... So what have we got? 4, 6, 8, 9. When you get them, that's 17. That's only 4 off. Doing that amphitheatre, 7 points. Guests in my supply, not doing too well on that. The glider, I'm still tempted. Still get 3 uses of it if you can keep getting the guests. We're getting 4 actions. I do want them on the ships, but how many more ships am I going to get? If I get the deep sea trawler, there's only room for... So I think can you overbuild past the end of the track? The deep sea trawler would take us up to 12 fish. We'd only have 1 more spot left. And I can afford that right now. It's tempting. I've made issue a share and buy your shares less exciting by leaving just 1 like that. We want to transfer the reserve, don't we? Because otherwise, loads of fish are just going to get thrown away. And there's no other way to do that in buildings or elders right now. So let's get all of them. We've still got a gold hiding. I should separate. So I remember I've got it. Okay. There's still build a building available. Get an elder. Remove a forest to get a wood and then build a building. I'm less excited about the sailor guy now. I don't really want to remove 2 forests. Upgrading a ship. Nice. Distribute 4 fish as you would in the fishing phase, which would mean my elder got 1 and then I'd just get loads. I'd get the other 3, wouldn't I? So I'd get 4 right now. And then I'd be able to build the amphitheatre. Yeah, if I did the pond builder right now, I'd be able to build the amphitheatre. But I'll just be able to build the amphitheatre next time. There's no massive need to do that. So I don't think guests being worth extra discount, I'm not going to ever really do. The campsite, I'm probably not going to ever do now because I'm getting fish and other things. If I build the deep sea trawler, no, I can't go past the edge. So if I build the deep sea trawler, it's the last thing I'm going to build. But we can... Can we put a guest on it? Because it says it's like a ship. It's saying build a ship, though. Because if you just build little ships, you could maybe get a couple more guests on them. But for what? There's not going to be a massive amount of time to do all of that stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 wood. I can afford that wooden tramway just for 3 points. The alderman's office would have been great to do early on, wouldn't it? It might still be alright for just 2 wood once per round. You are ending up with the elders, but they'll pay off with fish, won't they? I don't want to put an elder back. I'm thinking deep sea trawler. I'm thinking amphitheatre. I suppose the benefit of the small campsite as well is that you're getting a guest as well. I want to do something with an elder though. I don't necessarily want to remove a forest, but I'm going to get this builder. Because we could just remove the one from the top of this. Because you're revealing -1 points. I don't know how many things I'm going to build. You can always reforest later. So you get to use him for free. Remove forest, get a wood, and afterwards build a building. Let's... The cutter's a little bit smaller, isn't it? But it's 6 wood. Whereas you could just build that trawler. It's worth more points, and you just don't worry about that last spot. I'm very tempted. Small campsite. And then cover it with the... Oh, the deep sea trawler wouldn't cover it, though. So the deep sea trawler would cost me 5 wood, but get me 4 back. I could afford the angling school as well. But then you wouldn't have a... Yeah, I could get a load of gold, but I would want a guest to put on the ship before I built the... Actually, can I? If I build the angling school, it says immediately get gold for every guest in a ship, so I imagine there's no time to put that guest on a ship. So I would need a guest first to maximize it. Because I could afford deep sea trawler with this build, and then build a building to do the angling school. Anyway, I think we should build the deep sea trawler. So it's going to cost me 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5 fish. Oh. Get the deep sea trawler. Knock everything off. And that's... Oh, should it not be covering as many spaces as it is? It should be like that, right? Yeah. I think it's right. How many spaces it's covering. Right. And then... I'd still get 3 gold from building that angling school. But we could get another if I did it later. You could just issue the share and then buy it back. You'd get it for free next time, but it's an action just to do that. It's probably worth just leaving it unissued, I think. Maybe just build the small campsite, getting you the guest that you can put on the ship, and then you can build the angling school next round. But everything might be changed by the sea buildings we're going to see. So, like, if we can... I don't think I'm going to get enough guests for this to be massively viable, but if I do, it's just a lot of wood, isn't it, when I'm running out of my wood generation now. Or I could kind of forego the small campsite and just build the tramway, but then I'd need to earn wood again. The campsite's nice and free. Yeah, I'm going to go campsite to get me the guest right now. And I can't overbuild it yet, but I'll get a guest. Yeah. That I can put on here. Right. So let's move this stuff up. So we're going to see 3 more of these seas in a minute. So return home. Blues come back to me. Oh. Blues come back to me. Then... Good in Nusfjord. To say I haven't played it for years, and I'm like... I need to take this weekend. Thinking of like the... Oh, it changed everything about the guest, just someone plopping down life insurance. Right. Get your things back. Get 3 more sea buildings. So we have got the cannery. You can put fish you get from elders on this card. Point per fish on this card at the end of the game. Immediately remove all shares of your colour from the game. I mean, something to build at the end. And if other players have built your shares. Oof. Or if you've still got a load, if you haven't issued them, if you've got all your unissued ones. The investment broker immediately +1 gold per issued share in your supply. If you've spent the game buying other people's shares. Oh, wow. Right. So amphitheatre is still going to be the focus for me, but some tasty things coming out. So, we've got 12 fish now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Elders. So you get filled up. I get 1. The other 2 go away. You get 1. No foreign possession shares. Your shares in personal supply. For them. Reserve. And then don't need to put any in the general supply. Well, that's 6 in the reserve right now. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 from the guests in here. Oh, just bear with me a sec. I will be right back. That's what this screen should do. Hi everyone. It's just Rach calling. She didn't need anything, but she was wondering why I wasn't answering. Yeah, it is like a distillation of Uve. Like I know I'm like chatting about everything and making it seem longer than it is, but it is so quick, it is so short, especially like the solo is incredibly snappy, but the multiplayer is incredibly snappy for the I think we have played a 6-player game once of it, and even at that, like a lot of 4-player games, because it tends to play 2-player or solo, a lot of 4-player games end up seeming to us like, oh, it's taking forever. Nusfjord doesn't. Even though, like, there's still loads of stuff to think about. There's still loads of different options every game. It's so good. And, like, look how zoomed in we can be. This is the space that it takes up. If you add in another player, it's just adding those other boards. And, like, in our experience, at least, we can see the writing on these cards. Because that was a thing for Black Forest. Even the 3-player game we played, there was no configuration on the table we could find where all 3 of us could legibly see all of the buildings in one go. Hey Philip, how's it going? You just finished a 2-player game of Black Forest, and then see this is on. Is it possible to have an Uve overdose? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I've played back-to-back games of Feast for Odin constantly when it came out, and I didn't overdose then. If that can't do it, nothing will. You've got it, but you can't open it until Christmas. Have you got the old one as well, or have you already gotten rid of that in anticipation of getting the new one? Right. I've got my new action. We've done fishing, haven't we? I remember now. So we've surely got the fish required for the amphitheatre, just to get that out of the way. 2, 4, 6, because the fish are worth nothing at the end. 12. Or did I spend some fish? 14, 16, 18. You've got exactly 21 fish. So if you build it this round, you will not have fish to do stuff with, unless you can't transfer the reserve. Oh, you could if you copy the action. So we've got exactly 21. We could get more from overbuilding though, couldn't we? If there's something you wanted to build first, oh, you could build the amphitheatre over it, and then we'd get 4 to maybe build something else with. So it's not costing any wood, which is quite nice. The cannery's probably not going to earn me very much if I built it now. Small claims court next time. If I activate elders and get these fish gone, so that when I feed next round I can get some gold, maybe I'll be able to afford that small claims court. I suppose it's only adding 3 points to you, isn't it? So it's not like doing a load of stuff to make that happen isn't the be all and end all of stuff. Whereas I could just get rid of one of the elders. With the contractor, we could pay fish to build extra buildings. And not have to remove the forests if we don't want to. Build the amphitheatre. That's worth 7 points. And we get 4 fish back. So that costs 21 fish. Do you really want to transfer? You'd only get 6 out of 8 fish, and it's the copy action for the rest of the game. It doesn't seem worth it. Because, yeah, anything I place now is not coming off. Okay, the angling school. I've got the people on the ships now, haven't I? And I think I can actually afford it, can't I? 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 fish. 1 coin. And we will use the... Do you use the constructor or the builder? Well, the constructor doesn't make you remove a forest. And you're not going to build a ship in the future, so yeah. Fish on him, build a building, and that keeps the copy free in case we need it. Angling school. So paid all that. Immediately get a guest for building it, and then immediately get a gold for every guest on your ships. Can I have multiple guests on ships? Have I just assumed that I can only have... I think I've done a big assumption out of nowhere. I don't think the game ever told me you could only have 1 on ships, did it? Oh, yes, it did. Yes, the rules definitely said that. I'm not misremembering. But then get a gold for every guest on a ship. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a nice 6 points for that. Last one. The small claims court's actually worth an extra point. Oh, no, it's not. Small claims court's bad, isn't it? Because it's removing a minus point, but it's removing positive points from having my shares. Yeah, that would be bad for me, actually. I've just realised. So, returning an elder wouldn't be the worst thing. Like for 3 points. Gonna have to do it next time now, because I haven't got the fish to do much stuff. Do we want to deforest to get more wood? I don't particularly think the elders are going to help me massively. I mean, the investment broker would earn me spending 3 points to get 8 back. That might be a positive. I'm going to have the fish for sure. Do we deforest to get the wood? We've got this person as a discount of things. So 3 fish or 2 wood. Yeah, probably want to deforest to get the wood so that we could build maybe one of them things. So I can just deforest to get 1 wood, but that's not going to be as positive. So yeah, remove 1. Revealing minus points, but get 5 wood. Because my put boats down and get a load of wood isn't going to work out. The herring campaign with 103. It's pretty big. Yeah, small claims court isn't going to be good. Cannery's not going to be any good. Investment broker is decent. Queuing barriers isn't going to be any good for me. Glider's too late. Life insurance, too late. So of the seas, investment broker. Yurt. Probably good. You could even get back the elder that you're returning, couldn't you? It's going back to the supply board. You could take an elder action to get it right back. Yeah, right. So return the reds back. Move to the last spot. And what? 12 fish. So 2 of them are going on there. Leaving 10. 4 are going on there. Leaving 6. I can only fit 2 in there. So the rest get discarded. I get 4 more because of my people, my guests on ships. So we have got 10 fish in the old supply. 4, 6, 7 wood. The yurt's attractive because it doesn't cost any wood as well. The investment broker's gonna... Oh, thanks, Lynette. Have a good one. Have a good lunch. I hope you can get a hold of a copy. Yeah, investment probably going to do building, copy building, or we'll have to use the builder, but that'll remove this and reveal some minuses. And then I suppose issuing the share is worth 3 points. Even if I don't buy the share, it's worth 3 points just to do that. The wooden tramway would just get you 2 points because you'd be spending a gold for it. This is getting you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the investment broker's better. And I've got no other use for the fish. So let's build the investment broker. 6 wood. 4 fish. 3 gold. But then get a gold for every issued share in your supply. So I get 4 back. Yeah, it wouldn't be worth issuing and buying it to make that a bit better. Although, you get a gold. Like, it's a gold per share minus 2. So would I get a gold, or would it might just be 0 in the... It would be free, whatever happens. But yeah, I don't think it'd be worth spending me 2 actions just issuing 1 share, buying all shares. Because it's already become a positive point just for issuing it. So the yurt would be 1. Hi, Paul. Yeah, it's just another one of them boring Euros. How did Talisman go? Has the new edition turned you around on it? I have not played any Talisman, so I've got no idea. I saw there was a Batman one once, but I wasn't convinced. So we spent all the wood. Points-wise, the yurt is affordable. We've got 1 wood. You cost 1 wood, but you are worth no points. You've got a guest, though. Oh, you've got a guest. Guests aren't worth points at the end. So that's potentially 3 wood that you've got. That's not better. If we serve guests, I suppose like instead of issuing the share, the yurt would cost 3. So we'd be able to serve 1, 2 guests. No, issuing the shares better. Copy action, build a building. Build that yurt. Get a guest. Oh, we'll have 2 guests. And get a coin. So essentially that's, I don't know, spend a coin. If it was get a coin, we'd be building all the expensive things. Then, probably issuing that share. So it's going from -1 to not -1. And then I have 2 gold, so essentially 3 points. Build and reforest saves 3 points. The reforesting would just be 2 now. Serving guests, the fish, would just be... I can afford 1 plate. Then I've got guests to do, so that would be 3 as well. I don't think there's a bigger than 3-point move to do at the end here. She could do it with the sailor and get wood as well, but that wouldn't help. Exchanging a ship, there's no room to exchange to a bigger ship. Actually, like, you could exchange a sloop into a cutter, but that would be a 1-point upgrade, so doesn't matter. Distribute some more fish is no more points. I think it's just issuing the share is the position I've left myself in. Will it pay off? Issue it. Give me 2 gold, please. And that's it. As far as I know, we got a couple of C's done. Let's see how it's worked out then. So it's just gold. Oh, guests are worth... Yeah, they're worth points. So they'll be worth a point. They're worth more points on ships, but I couldn't build another ship because of the awkward positioning that I've done. I've got a building as a ship, Paul. So let's have a look. Serving fish will give me 3.5 points. Because it would give me a guest. Thank you. I forgot about the guest. You are right. So we serve a guest for real. Oh, but then it's costing me a point, isn't it? So I'd get 2 points from that. I would only get 2.5, wouldn't I? Because it's costing me a point in people because they're half a point each. I would get 3 gold. So I'm up 2. I'm up 2.5. Whereas this, I take the -1 away. And I get 2. So I think it's 2.5 to 3 still. So I think the share wins. If I'm working it out right. If I'm remembering all of my buildings. So let's see, what have I got? Log boom, 1 point. Amphitheatre is 7, so 8, 9, 13, 16, 18, 20. Doesn't sound like a whole lot of points yet. 21, 23, 27, 30. Everyone on a ship is worth points. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. Half a point each on here, 39. 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. So actually, I think that's pretty up there. Have I ever written down what I've scored on Nusfjord? Because, like, I have had a board game stats for ages, but I've been intermittent in ever using it. Alright, if you found a game called No Plays of Nusfjord. So I've got no idea. I return an elder. Oh yeah, I could have had 2 more fish. That wouldn't... I didn't return an elder, did I? I assume I can return one that I have a dude on and he just kind of stays out there. So in that case, I could have served fish instead, been able to do 4 plates, and then get a guest afterwards. So I would be up half a point, I think. Well spotted, Philip. Yeah, getting those 2 fish off the elder returned, which is the point of the building, would let me feed an extra plate. So you're getting better discounts from the guests as well. So that extra 1 point would offset the thing. So 45.5, which I think is pretty up there. Like, I don't think there's any... Is there a little guide in the solo bit? It feels high. In the campaign, you want to get 100 over 3 games. But in the campaign, I think you have to... You're playing through the whole set of the same deck. So, like, all the cards that I didn't take here would get put in a discard pile. I think in your second game, you use all of the cards that you didn't draw for this, and then in your third game, that's made up of cards that you chose not to get in the first two games, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, and you're trying to get over 100 points over the course of them games. But I think that went pretty well. I was in panic mode at the start, but that's all right, isn't it? That 45 and a half. I'm sure like people are breaking all sorts of records with this. And there'll be like there's a solo campaign, right, that gets organized on by like fans on Board Game Geek, where you can like play a solo challenge with a preset set of buildings anyway. But you could, if you've got Nusfjord or the the expansion pack 2 that includes the deck that I'm playing, then you can flick back and start off with that setup if you want, and comment on how you've blown my score to smithereens. If you've seen it all, you know what the sea buildings are, so you got a bit of an advantage. And that's what I'll be saying if you beat my score. It's because you knew what the sea buildings were, even if you didn't see that bit. So thanks everyone. That's Nusfjord. Let's get Nusfjord back in the schedule again. Maybe it'll be another Civolution. We'll put it back in the vote and maybe it'll win again. Because say there's loads of ones we haven't seen just out of this deck. There's a second new deck to the big box. There is the salmon deck that I never had, and it's doubtful that I've even seen all of the stuff from the original game because I'm always flitting from game to game, aren't I? But yeah, Nusfjord is pretty amazing, isn't it? It is one of the best duvets. It is one of the best games, probably. Because yeah, it's got so many bits for all like feelings and decisions from his other games, but it's in this tiny thing that is, if you're not blathering all over it, very speedy. But I think for me, I've been fairly snappy with that. There weren't too many tangents. Marty didn't return. He's just gone off in a huff. So there we go. That is it. And biggest bonus of all, you get a little Kiss the Alderman building as well. If you have you been censored, Tony? I don't know what happened then. Hopefully Streamlabs isn't getting oh, my chat in the main page isn't working. Hopefully Streamlabs isn't redacting messages again. I tried turning it off last time it started doing that. Yeah, it's got a little Kiss the Alderman building as well. So there we go. And you can get a only resting send me a postcard Nusfjord promo. I was just about to say about your Nusfjord promo. Thanks very much, Tony. Yeah, there are promos available that's like the King's Arms. So you can get like a big pub pro, and it's like a postcard size, right? That takes up a load of your building spots. You can find out about it on Tony's blog. Visit the Museum of Board Games, and copies are available there, right, Tony? So you can get the brand new big box with all the old promos, and you can keep your eye out for the brand new one. We'll do that next time. Like everyone, vote for Nusfjord to return. You can do that on patreon.com/slickerdrips. It's how I'm able to do this stuff. Look out, as of now, are not bothered that I do things, which is fair enough. That's the position of most of the world, as it is for everybody. But yeah, you could join up on Patreon, and I will try and remember to put this in the vote for next month as well. That'll be against some other stiff competition. Maybe it's not going to be that stiff as well. I don't know if everyone else is excited about some of the things that are arriving as I am. But yeah, we'll do another Nusfjord. It'll probably spoil the vote. Whether you vote for it or not, I want to do some more of it. If we didn't need to do some other stuff, we'd just keep doing some Nusfjord, because we are doing, what is it that's coming up now? Tomorrow is Rolling Realms Redux. I enjoyed the very first Rolling Realms. There is a new one with new realms and stuff in it. One of them's for the Legacy of You. I like roll and write games. There's some kind of football solo mode in it. We'll be finding out about that very soon. And then the stuff coming up for Spokes. Oh, the new Postmark print and play roll and write. That's like a card, like use a normal deck of playing cards to do a dungeon crawly kind of thing out of it. Yeah, I'm excited. And there's a big pile of Essen games still looming over me. It's been brought upstairs now to make the house look less of a tip, but now it's just looming in that corner over there. There's no time. Some of them have to go. But thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Tony, as well, for being here through the stream and for designing one of the expansions. It's cool, isn't it? And for sticking some mints in there, which is the biggest positive for anything. Any board game with any kind of Vic and Bob relation is the best board game for me. So it's probably moved up a few steps in me top 10 just for that. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll be live here with the Rolling Realms at the same time, 4 p.m. GMT England time tomorrow. And yeah, have a lovely evening. There's no Taskmaster on, is there? I don't know what we're gonna watch. That's up to me though, innit? See you later, everyone. Bye. Bye. Bye.